Here we go. Yo. You know I love this beat, y'all. I'm gonna miss this beat when Black History Month is over. Come on. Darius O'Kane is on the live. What's going on, fam? Always good to have you. Always good to have you. Darius O'Kane. Domino Entertainment is on the live. What's going on, sir? The online Domino community and Domino Entertainment hybrid events is definitely in the building. VT is on the live. VT said, that's a nice beat. Hey, VT is my guest next week. I'm excited to see him in the chat, man. We're going to chop it up next week talking about the relevance, the place, the space for Black faith as a creator. Oh my goodness, we're gonna have a nice time. So make sure you come back for that. We're gonna make sure you come back for that. We got something lined up for you tonight, man. Listen, drop something in the comments right now. I see 8 of you on the live with us tonight. Love that. Drop something in the comments right now. Just let us know where you're watching from. Let us know, talk to us. Tell us your name. You know what I mean? If you're one of our regulars, shout us out in the comments. We want to know. And then, of course, we're going to ask those of our regulars, hey, Ray Davis, what's going on? We're going to ask our regulars, man, go ahead and put share the joint. Let people know that they can come through and hang out with us. Let me move that up a little bit. Yeah, they can come through and hang out with us. That's actually supposed to be up here. Yeah, they can come through, hang out with us. And Shauna Velasco says hi from Tampa, Florida. Tampa, Florida in the house. I told LASCurry, I told them that's home for me. So Tampa Bay, baby. I'm looking forward to having you here with us tonight. Thank you so much, Shauna, for being here. David Harvey is on the live here from Chicago. He says, let's go. Seesaw Studios says, what's up, everybody? Come on, thumbs up. We got thumbs up already. I like it. I'm excited, man. Listen, let's get into the news.
Your number one source for live video news.
Yes, indeed. Ray Davis says Jacksonville, Florida in the house. What's going on? Thank you so much for being here, family. Loving it. David Hunt says he's coming in from choir rehearsal. Oh my, the dedication is real. Fam, listen, if you haven't already, make sure you have the page howitallworks.com bookmarked. Bookmark that page, howitallworks.com. Want to make sure that we get a chance to, did you get a chance to see all the different things on that page? If you go to that page right now, you're going to see this video. The live show that we are doing right now is at the top of that page. And then right underneath it is my latest video on YouTube. Can you believe that QR codes? Like this is first up in the news. Restream Studio now allows you to do QR codes on the fly during your live stream. And I did a whole video about it. You got to check it out. You listen. No, seriously, don't leave me right now, but you got to check it out because this is one of those where I was like, I really hope the rest of the streaming platforms follow suit. Imagine trying to do live selling, somebody asked me just the other day, hey, can you send me a link for that mic? Imagine not only being able to put the link in the chat, but being able to put a QR code for this mic on screen. You could do all of that in Restream Studio. Why? Because Restream Studio is plugged in with my Amazon influencer account. All right, I'm done. I'm just keeping it a stack, y'all. It's crazy out here. It is crazy out here. And so for all of my family out there that's like, oh, I don't know if I can't get approved for Amazon influencer program. You don't need it. If you have an audience and you have Restream Studio, you can live sell. Done. Call it a day. All right. That one was for free. That one was for free. The next thing up in the news, we want to talk about what we got coming next week on the show, and that is the role of Black faith in content creation. We're excited that Dr. Bryant Taylor is going to be our guest for next week. Excited that we're going to be able to have him come through and hang out with us. I'm trying to figure out why is it cut off on both ends? Either way, but we're excited that he's going to be able to come and hang out with us next week here in this space. Next week on How It All Works, we're closing out the month, I should say. The role of Black faith in content creation. Excited to be able to touch base on that. Looking forward to it. Next up in the news. Now, don't leave. I'm saying this purposefully. Don't leave just when you see these, okay? 2023-year-old tech community. Oh, come on, Domino Entertainment. I like that phrase. Saba says, hey, Kirk. Hey, Saba. No, my camera has decided to go on the fritz. This is what happens when it's live, right? Saba, what's going on, sis? Small Business Creatives Domino Entertainment says, Mark Woolard is here with us from Brampton, near Toronto, he says. All right, I like it. Gary Jones is doing his good work in the comments, making sure you guys know where the website is. Definitely go ahead and check that out. But yes, this is a new video maker. It says the future of video making starts here. Let me see if I can read this subline. It says... Yeah. That's really small. A platform for beginners, and it's like this is the way I describe it. It's like Canva meets video. Canva meets video editing. Some of y'all are like, wait a minute. You might want to check this out. Animaker.com. Canva meets video. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is new. Now, so this is a new platform. I want to say it dropped either last week or this week. And I know today's Monday, but yes, it's really, 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 really recent. So definitely something you want to check out, be aware of. It could fit right into your workflow. It could fit right in, or it may not work in your workflow. But the idea is go ahead and kick the tires, get a test account, check it out. You heard it here first. Animaker.com for all your creator needs, man. Come on. Get into it. GigaPost, Gig-O-Post, not Giga. Gig-O-Post, they literally launched today. Gig-O-Post launches today. Their AI-assisted, are you seeing a theme? Their AI-assisted content creation and one-click distribution platform. One click. All your stuff is posted. Click, post. And it's AI assisted. So it's going to assist you in actually writing the copy for those posts. Oh, I hope that you guys are picking up on what is happening. I really do. I'm hoping that you're seeing what's happening here, because that is a game changer. So definitely something to check out. Gigopost.com. Again, you heard that here first. Lastly, our last item in the news before we bring on our guest. I wanted to make it abbreviated today because me and Anthony, when we get talking, it's a whole thing. So I just wanted to let y'all know it's a whole thing. But our last thing in the news for today, our last item in the news for today is, why is it not moving? Wix. Wix. Y'all remember Wix? Wix is a website builder platform, but Wix adds artificial intelligence for their text creator. Man, Wix launches AI text creator within the Wix editor, significantly advancing website content creation. Come on. Are you seeing a theme here, y'all? I know many of you, several people in my community are standing up their websites or their landing pages or whatever with Wix. It's a simple web utility and building tool, but they have now included in the tool artificial intelligence and AI text creator. I think that's absolutely amazing. And again, one of those things where it's like, even if you're not a Wix person, just give it a minute, because WordPress and several of the other platforms are going to start adding this stuff in. This is the order of the day. AI is here to stay. All right. And again, you heard that here first. But listen, fam, I am super excited to have my guy with us tonight. We are going to chop it up. We're going to get into all of the things. Listen, even with the title, yeah, we're going to deliver on that, but I can almost guarantee you we're going to get into way more than just the title here tonight. Let me check some of my comments first. Tuning in from Houston, Ray Jackson says, I like it. Shauna Velasco says, what's up, Xander Man? I like it. Xander Man is here. Here we go. Another epic broadcast. I like it. Who else we got in here? Don Daniel is here. AI. He says AI. Listen, Don, it is going to change everything. Don got on the AI wave first with his opportunity cost calculator, man. So he is definitely checking the boxes. Ray Davis says AI technology is blowing up right now, especially with ChatGPT. ChatGPT has become a verb, man. It's just like a whole vibe by unto itself these days. It's crazy. All the things that ChatGPT is doing. Wait. Is that my guy, Monty Weaver? We got to drop a bomb for my guy, Monty Weaver, in the chat. Always comes through with the hashtag HIW. Listen here, fam. I'm excited to bring on screen right around now, educator, speaker, live streaming expert, my guy, Anthony Santana. Let's welcome him.
How it all works. Let's welcome our guest.
Let's go, brother. We are here. We are here, man.
Let's go.
Oh man, I am pumped up. I'm pumped up, man.
Let's go.
Hey, the news always get me pumped up, man, because
I know, man. Listen, the news can derail the whole episode.
It is crazy to see what AI is going to be doing, man. It couldn't be easier now to start creating content.
This is
my goodness.
And that's what I want people to really realize. It's like, if you had some barriers in your mind about getting into this game, trust me, you could be a business, you could be a coach, author, consultant, it doesn't matter. If you had some barriers in your mind, go ahead and get them out of the way. Listen, I see my family in the chat is already giving you the How It All Works welcome.
Hey, what is going on, everybody?
Chris Stone says 2 streams in one day. I'm leveling up. Come on, Chris. Thank you so much for being here. And he's coming in on LinkedIn. That's dope.
Love it. I love it. I'm excited about today, man. I'm excited. This is a topic I love talking about. And hopefully we'll bring some value to people in the chat today, man. I'm
That's the
excited.
plan, man. That's the
I'm
plan.
excited.
Listen, I see Seesaw Studios says I use AI in my graphic designs, and he also says, welcome, Anthony. Welcome,
Yeah, I'm
Anthony.
happy to
Thank
be
you so
here.
much. My guy Sam is in the chat. Our guy Sam, I should say. Live production tips and tools says, what's up? What's going on?
Excited.
Well, everybody's just welcoming Anthony to the joint. Chris Stone says, Laz, what's good? Ray
Happy to be
Davis
here,
says, what's
man.
up, Anthony? We in here tonight. We
We'll
are in
party
here
tonight.
tonight. It's 22 people on the live. Make sure you
Yeah.
tag somebody. Make
Let's
sure
go.
you share. Doc, what's
it
going
out.
on, man? We're gonna throw this first question up. I'm gonna get right in because I don't want
Let's
to delay. I don't want to delay. I want to make sure we get all of our stuff in today. So last time you were on, we got a chance to chat about a number of different things, but you didn't. I don't think we really got to dive in deep. Because I have heard you share some more pieces of your story, more things about what you do and how you kind of got into business. I want you to kind of share with folks LASCurry. I want you to share with folks Anthony Santana. I want you to share a little bit with the folks right now. You know, who is Anthony? You know, what is a day in the life like for you right around now? We're going to get to our second question about how you got started. But right now, we just want to hear a little bit about you and what does it currently look like?
Cool. I'm excited, man. It's always a pleasure to be here. I'm super excited to talk. So for me, I'm an insurance agent, 9 years of experience, turned full-time content creator 3 years ago.
Love it.
And literally my whole journey has been around gaming. I got saved through the Xbox. I started creating content for gamers to help them develop themselves to be able to grow.
Sorry, did I say that sentence one more time? You got what through this Xbox?
Well, I got saved through the Xbox. That's my testimony. We could definitely dive into that. For sure.
What? Okay,
sure,
all right. I'm trying my best to keep it calm. Okay, all right. Okay.
All right, I'm excited.
Right,
I'm excited.
Go ahead.
So now what I've kind of been doing is that, like, over the last 3 years as a creator, you develop so many skills and so many things that you have to learn, from just learning the technical side to understanding how to script, how to research, how to create, how to be exciting on camera, how to be able to go ahead and create an audience and just build. So it's just all these talents and skills that we've developed over the last 3 years. I've just kind of spent leveraging them to not only build my community and build my audience, but also to help and leverage and help other brands and businesses do the same, right? Because I've spent the last 3 years just honing in on YouTube, honing in on content creation, honing in. I didn't know none of this 3 years ago. I didn't know how to handle a camera, didn't know what microphones were, what audio was. It was just a level of curiosity and diving in and seeing that, like, what I was doing before doing insurance, it was great. I had a great experience, like, doing it, made a lot of good money, but it wasn't satisfying, it wasn't challenging me. And this space of content creation just challenges you every single day. You see what's happening with AI tools. Every day is another opportunity for you to have a 24/7 virtual assistant. So it's just an amazing journey. So right now, I'm a full-time content creator. I make content for gamers to help them learn how to live stream and turn what they love to do into something that can sustain them and their family. And then at the same time, I leverage the skills and talents that I've learned to help brands grow and scale online as well. So that's a little bit about what we're doing now.
Man, listen. It's about to be an entire vibe here tonight. Like, you dropped a bomb. You dropped an absolute bomb earlier, man. Sheesh, man. I'm trying my best to stay on target, on topic, and on target here today. James Hicks is in the building. I'm just giving a little shout out here, man. I love it. And then I see your bride is in the chat. She's like, yo, true story. So we're gonna have to have you back on, but not this show. I'm gonna have to have you come on my other show to chat about that one, because I need to hear the full joint right there. BT is he picked it up too. Saved through the Xbox. That's rich. Yeah. Talk about that joint.
That's the craziest story, man.
Oh my goodness.
It's a crazy story.
Listen, we about to derail the whole thing right now. Because what? Bruh, how do I not know this? How do I not know this?
It's wild. I don't know. I thought I shared it.
No.
It's been a crazy journey, man. It happened awesome, 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
That is awesome, Doc.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's awesome, man. Yo, in all seriousness, man. Like, okay,
All right, all right.
I'm making a note. Let me make a note right here. I'm gonna make
Yeah.
a note right here so that I can come back to it later because I need
Super
to
excited.
follow this up. I'm gonna follow up with you on that. We're gonna chat about
All
some
right.
stuff.
Sounds good. I'm here, man.
Ryan Swanstrom is here, man. But listen, G. Albert
lot
is
of
here.
familiar faces.
This is awesome. This is awesome. All right, listen, we got a second question on the screen.
All right.
This is our follow-up question, just so just kind of prime the pump again, just kind of giving people a little bit about you. You talked about what you are doing right now. You content creator, helping brands, helping other content creators kind of leverage this space. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Now this is not me talking to Anthony. This is me talking to you, the How It All Works audience. I get a chance to chat with him and Sam at least once a month. And this brother has helped me tremendously. Now, I'm certain he's gonna try and jump in and say, "Oh, Kirk, but you gave some." Yes, that's the whole point. We are helping one, but I'm telling you, I mean, there's some tips that he shared that has really helped me in my YouTube growth and journey. And he has the receipts, right? And so I do want to know what that origin story looks like. Right.
Sure.
And I think that's going to help prime the pump for some of what we're going to chat about today. But yeah, well, how did you get started? What's your origin story?
Yeah, sure, man. So for me, I think just like anybody else, when you're trying to start something online, I remember just sitting there every time getting home from work and being on Google, just searching like, how can I make money on the side? What kind of side hustle can I start? And I've always had a passion for gaming. And I think that it was one time I was sitting, I was like, just watching people game online and people watching them. I see thousands and thousands of people. I'm like, these people are making money actually playing the game. I was like, I can't believe that I used to compete and go to tournaments and play games competitively and make money that way, but I never thought about like doing it like in my home, right? Get a camera. So my journey started by wanting to live stream gaming. So I knew nothing about it. I was just like, man, if they're doing that, I could possibly do it, right? Because if people are having success, there's an opportunity, right? Now it's a very hard journey to get there, but when you first start, you don't know what the journey's going to be like. So you're super excited, you're happy about diving into it. You don't know the roadblocks that are coming, right? Because if you knew the journey, I don't think I would have started.
If we knew the journey,
that is true. That is true.
Okay.
So
okay. I'm gonna shut up.
So I started, so pretty much just like everybody else, YouTube and Google has been like my second mother, right? They're just been my education online and what I've turned to get answers. So when I first started, I was like, how do you start streaming? And I found creators that already were ahead of me that were teaching and helping that. So on the time when I started, I was on a platform that didn't have a lot of attention, right? It's called Mixer, died about 2 years ago. About 2 years ago, the platform just died completely, but there was nobody making content for that platform. So there were people making content for Twitch and for YouTube and for Facebook. How do you live stream? But this platform didn't have no audience serving. So I didn't know what it was going to turn into be. So what I started doing was just like, you know what? I know that if I try to stream on Twitch, I'm not going to get found the same way. So I need to create content on other social platforms to generate visibility, right? So I came in with like a marketing mindset, which was a lot different than what a lot of gamers are thinking about. I didn't know nothing about streaming and gaming, but I knew about marketing and kind of how to brand yourself and how to put yourself, just get visibility. So I started very easy. I literally, and some of those videos are still on my channel to this day, which I go back and I'm like, oh man, like I really thought this stuff was really good.
Hey
but,
man, you need that trip down memory lane every now and again, right?
And you know what it's brought to me then? That it's like back then I kept it simple, right? And now I've complicated it. And I can talk about that a little bit later about how as we grow and develop and our knowledge increases and the more gear that we get, the more complex our content gets and the more that we stray away from the original purpose, which was to generate and bring value, right? What you say to the camera and to the audience is more powerful than how you actually look. So that's the kind of thing. And I was talking to Shauna just the other day about it. It's just like, man, I'm going to go back to just keeping it simple, right? Because I think that sometimes you go back to your foundation. You're like, man, I created these videos with no lack of knowledge, right? There was nothing that I didn't know what I was doing right or what I was doing wrong. I just knew that every week I wanted to make a video teaching people about the thing that I was learning the week prior, right? And that was it. So I was just going through that journey. And through there, I didn't know what it was going to come be. And little did I know, there was a whole community of people out there that were wanting this content that I didn't know they weren't, because I was just making it for myself. I'm like, oh, well, how do you set up a camera? I'm like, all right, let me just make this video. How do you set up a camera? And it just came that way. I wasn't doing research on YouTube. I didn't know none of the skills that I know now. It was just like, I learned this, I'm just going to teach it. And it came easy to speak about something that you've actually done because it's called experience, right? So I'm not talking about something that I don't know about. It was something that I experienced experienced and went through and had to troubleshoot, right? Because it wasn't just like plug the camera in, ready to go. I had to be like, oh, this is not working. Go on Google. So I went through the struggles and saved people the time by just getting them straight from point A to point B. And that's what my videos became like, straight to the point, no bluff, just giving you the raw content, and you can go out there and do your success. So my whole motto with that was just to try to get people not to consume too much, but to take more action. So the faster you can get through my video, the faster you can go and implement. So, and then that's where we're at now. So I didn't know it was going to become this. I think that's everybody's story. Nobody knows that what they're doing is going to become what it is today.
Exactly.
And that's where we're at. So I just started from a passion of gaming, started to teach the audience that I felt I connected with the most. And then from that, it just grew, and then it created more opportunities and more skill sets to branch out and do the things that I'm doing today.
Listen, Zan says this comment in the chat. He says, clarity creates simplicity, and simplicity creates creativity. Come on, Zan. What?
Yep.
We got some good stuff in the chat today,
why.
That is good. That is real good.
I
was chatting with folks earlier about, the five tips for remote producers, but in general for entrepreneurs. And that number one tip was gain clarity. And I love the way you shared it, even in your lead up right there. We were talking about sometimes as we accumulate more, both knowledge and gear, we have the tendency to complicate the process.
100%.
It used to be simpler because all you had was a phone, but now you have all this stuff. Now I've got to, my lighting's not right. And that's what your mind is constantly thinking about instead of creating content. And I often tell folks, like, the way that one of the cheat codes that I've created for myself is that this space that I'm in right now doesn't change, doesn't move. I don't take things away from it. Nothing leaves this space. If inspiration hits me while I'm watching the TV, I run upstairs and I record a video. I get a notification from Restream saying that they just launched QR codes, and I run upstairs and I script the video downstairs while on the couch watching TV with the kids.
Look at that.
Then come up here, put it on the teleprompter, record that bad boy, send it off to the video editors, and go back downstairs to finish watching the show, because simplicity, right? Helps to create that creativity. I love that, man. I love that. Some of what you just shared is just absolute gold, man. Anthony gets me fired up. Chris Stone says,
Chris Stone in the house, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, he was asking about your Amazon journey. We're going to get to that in a little bit.
If it wasn't for you and Chris Stone, I wouldn't be on Amazon. So I'm grateful for you guys.
I call that high praise, man.
Look.
Listen,
that's beautiful.
BT says, I need to book Anthony. He's bringing the fire. Okay, all right.
Man, I'm excited.
I'm gonna tell you right now, BT is that guy. He has he has a number of conferences and different things that he does. So if he says he needs to book you,
collaboration is key.
That's a good thing.
Collaboration is key. I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's dive back in here. I want to throw this question out to the audience now, right? Because you guys, you don't get to be a spectator in this thing. We want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. We want to throw this out there. Thank you so much, Ryan, for your comment. Z Show Cruise Fund says, "Good evening, brothers. Good evening to you as well." This is the question for you guys, right? So, what can a person, all right, who is consuming content? I want to make sure you get that part. Can the person interacting with or consuming content use the process of consumption to create further unique content? This is the question I want to throw out to the chat.
Great question.
You can read faster than I can read, and I just want you to think about it. Now, as you're thinking about this, I want to set the stage, set the table a little bit, because we talked about this last week. We talked about this the week before. This has been a recurring theme all month. Who is a content creator? Okay, a content creator could be an actor. A content creator can't listen. I have let me not say that part. That's going to give it away. A content creator could be a chef. Food is content. A content creator can be a traditional edutainer, right? On YouTube, giving people answers to questions in a way that's entertaining them.
Yep.
Edutainment, edutainer, whatever you want to call us. A content creator could be quite literally, an artist, like with a paint and a brush, or an artist with pencil and paper drawing, an artist with a spray can and a wall illegally tagging that joint.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of these things can be art. Now the question can be all of these are content, and the people who make them are creators. So now the question again, and I see your answers already coming in. Can the person who is consuming that content turn around and capture the process of them consuming the content as their own unique content? So let's see what we got in the chat, Anthony.
That's crazy.
All right, so
'Cause that's a
that's
great question.
crazy.
That's a topic in itself, man. This is a great question.
So Domino Entertainment says yes. JJS Tech says late, but I made it. G Albert says
Hey,
yes.
better late than never.
Seesaw Stu says absolutely they can. Oftentimes I may have an idea, but it's not fully realized, and Kirk or someone else says something / points to something that leads to that light bulb moment. That's good. Chris Stone says, one of my daily rules, create more than you consume. Think calories. You need them, but you need to use them or they are useless. Oh,
That's
Chris.
good. That's good. That's
Chris
good.
with the one-liner.
That's
oh,
good.
man, I'm copying that one.
That's good.
Xander Man says yes. If he or she blocks the time in their calendar, block time is everything. What gets scheduled gets done. I like that too. I like that too.
That's
I like
good.
that too. And I want to get your perspective on this one. Of course, I know your
man.
answer, Anthony, but I want to get your perspective in a general sense.
Yeah.
You know, let's not touch gaming just yet, but in a
Yeah,
general
yeah.
sense, there are so many people. I have a client who his entire YouTube channel is around either watching live or reacting to reality TV. So Real Housewives of Atlanta, blah, blah, blah. Now, this brother has over like 300 and something thousand subscribers. So clearly he's doing something. But his channel is him reacting to the content that has already been created. And that is his unique content. So
this question gets me fired up because you can
Come
take
on.
this in so many directions, man. Like, number one, being a consumer of content is like super key for you to be able to create better content, right? But the thing is that we don't realize, and I was just having this conversation with Shauna the other day, right? Because she comes from a space of not a creator, right? And then seeing me as a creator, and then I try to educate her and get her inspired to also create content, right? But she doesn't realize that the things she does day in and day out, okay, is content that other people want to consume, right? And a lot of times we're so deep into it that we don't realize, like, oh, we have a boring life. Nobody wants to see the things that I do. Nobody wants the things that I enjoy. But when she comes across a channel that is massive and is doing things like cleaning the bathroom, putting the groceries in the fridge, right? Doing laundry, doing some basic tasks that are needed, right? That are getting hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views, right?
Yep.
It's just like there's channels that people sit down to eat food just so people can eat with them virtually. Right.
Straight up.
So
I'm so glad you brought this up. This was in my notes. Straight up. No. There are people who just want to hear them eat. Now, I think it's disgusting, but it's ASMR.
Crazy.
Like, this is a whole. No, I really it grates on my last nerve. But there's a whole audience out there that's like, I just want to hear you eat, and it's like, what?
Right. But it's crazy. But to kind of give some kind of actionable things of like when I heard this question, right? Like this is super huge for me because you can get consumed by social media, right? You can be a consumer and not get no value from it, right? So one of the things that I've done for myself, and hopefully there's some actionable things for you guys, is that I've divided leisure time and time on social media with intention, right? And now it's become where it's like anytime that I'm on social media, it's intentional. Because you can still be consuming and enjoying the content, but you can ask yourself certain questions. Why did this video make me stop? What did they say? What did they do? What are they doing here, right? And a lot of times we spend so much time in our own space and industry that it's hard for us to find the blue ocean, right? Like, how can we be different? And what you have to learn is that once you consume content, one, you have to go outside of your sphere to be able to find things and inspiration from other industries and other content styles and figure out how do you contextualize that into your content. Because this is what happens to me. I see somebody who's not in my space and I'm like, wow, like they've taken something that people are doing every single day, like let's say gaming, just somebody showing their gameplay. But there's channels that are entertainment that do challenges, aka like Mr. Beast or people who do challenges. Well, they've taken challenges and gaming and pieced it together in one vertical. So now they've become unique, right? But that only happens if you consume other content. So it's just insane how that is just consuming content 100% needs to be a part of your content creation process, because that's how you get inspired and influenced. And here's a tip. Here's the key tip that's been a game changer for me in the last 3 months. Read the comments. Read comments. Okay. There's so much gem in comments on other people's videos that you'll get inspiration and see. Just for example, sometimes you think that something so mundane is like, how do I save my live stream on YouTube? A lot of people, like, you may think that that's common knowledge, right? But when I'm constantly looking at videos and people are asking that specific question and the video that they're watching is not even related to that topic, there's a need there. So I'm like, okay, nobody's serving that question. Let me go ahead and make a video answering that specific question, giving them the specific solution, so that way I can meet that need. And it may be a video that takes a minute to make, but I wouldn't know that if you're not in the comments. Being in the comments, it's like walking through a party and talking to everybody and see why they're there, what they like, the information is there. Like, you get more value in looking at the comments than actually watching the video, because you get to see what the creator missed, what questions they have. So then you can improve that video that they've done and bring more value to that community. So it's just, we can go crazy on this question, because like, I think that being a consumer and interacting with other content is key to be able to know how to maneuver and be different and differentiate yourself and figure out where the gaps are in the industry that you're in. This is crazy.
I like what JJS Tech said. I mean, he's agreeing with you, but he said, and comment on the comments. Right? The little things can be bigger than the bigger things. I like that. That's gold. And my guy Nee is over on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. And I agree, Kanik. These are absolute nuggets of wisdom that we're getting here, man. This is great. This is great. And I'm glad that we were able to kind of hash that out as we get into this portion of the show, where we're actually going to dive into the topic. All right, the topic of today's show is related to what we just asked you. Are you a gamer, content creator, or both? I'm going to put that question on the screen. Are you a gamer, content creator, or both? And we know what you're going to lean towards, but I really want you to kind of set this thing up for folks and kind of help them to really understand the crux of it. Come on.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, quick answer, both, right? A game, I create content. It's both, right? But when we look at the bigger scale, right? There's two different styles of creators, right? There's people that I talk to that all they do is they love playing the game, right? Because they allow the lack of knowledge or the tech to slow them down, right? They know that they want to create content, but they don't understand how the camera works, how to even upload a video on YouTube, how to even edit a video. So there is this lack of creators that are stuck in a gaming space, just doing the hobby and never being able to turn into something else. It's also a lack of like discipline and curiosity and wanting to understand that, like, in the beginning, you're going to be bad. You're not going to understand. Nobody that started creating content is going to be a superstar right out of the gate. If somebody is a superstar right out of the gate, you have to ask them the question of, what were you doing prior to this, right? Because they have the experience somewhere else. They could be doing TV production. They could have been doing, just so many things. So it's just like, it sometimes it gets me a little bit upset when I talk to somebody and they just come with excuses. We have too much access to too much information at our disposal for us to say that we can't do something right now. If you've tried and you haven't been able to get through, then it's a little bit different, because it's like, hey, okay, you just need to think a little bit differently than the box that you're in to be able to get yourself out of it. And sometimes that requires you getting connected with other people who are higher than you. But I see as, if you're doing something, right? We live in a world now where it's like your hobby, your passion, as weird as it may be, or you think it may be weird, there is a community and an audience that also is in love with the thing that you're doing. So you being able to create content, and I always say this, like, you don't have to just create and think of new ideas. You can document what it is that you're doing, right? It's more fulfilling for you to talk about the journey of you going to where you want to be. More people will connect and relate with you that way than you're saying and waiting for you to get to the perfect moment, to the monumental, and saying like, hey, I need to be the top dog before I can start talking about this. No. right? How often do you see people, like, think about it, right? Would you not want to know the story of Jeff Bezos when he first started, right? The people that, like, being able to go back and see that journey, right? How many times did he almost, make the business go bankrupt? Like, we would love to hear that, right?
We would love to hear
failures in the journey. So I think that, as like, for the question is, I game, and I create content. I do both, but most of the time it's documenting, right? Like I said in the beginning, when I first started, I just go back to the beginning, right? I talk about what I did yesterday, not what I'm going to do tomorrow, right? So that way you can just continue to evolve, and you're helping that person before you. I think so many times we get imposter syndrome of thinking like, oh man, I'm not smart enough. I can't help everybody. It's okay, cool. Look, if there's a scale of 1 to 10 and you're level 5, you can help 4, 3, 2, 1. Right. Yes, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's there to help you because we can't serve everyone. Right. And I think that just like I say, me and Kurt, right, we're both talk about live streaming and video production. But at the end of the day, his voice, his style is going to relate to a certain audience. There's a community that's meant for him to serve. And there's a community that's meant to me to serve. So when you understand that just help yourself 2 years ago. Right? Like, where were you a week ago, a month ago, 2 months ago, before you started your journey? Because there's people there. And this is a conversation I have all the time when people ask, like, what do I do? Like, look, when did you start drawing? Like, when you first started drawing, like, did you want to learn how to draw a circle? Just teach people how to draw a circle, right? Like, go back and think, because, and this happens to me all the time, and I know I'm going deep, right? But,
go for it.
Sometimes I have, like, when Kirk can relate, right? When you get to a certain level, if you start consuming content, you start thinking differently, right? Like, your terminology, your vocabulary changes, the way you think, you're thinking more different strategies. So sometimes you disconnect yourself from the beginner, right? And you forget where they were and where they started. So you sometimes have to realize that's like, wow, like, there are people for me to serve, right? I may not be able to serve the person that's above me, but they've gone through a path and a journey to help you develop. And then it's your job to take what you're learning from that person and contextualize it in a vocabulary in a way that your audience can understand it. Because I watch people about marketing, but that's too high level for like a gamer. So we have to think about a little bit. I have to bring it in a different sense and a different light and contextualize it for them in a way that they can understand. So I think that the easiest way to be able to grow an audience is to just go back and sit down and write a list. It's like, hey, when I first started my YouTube channel, what are all the things I wanted to learn? How to make a thumbnail, how to do a title, how to script, how to do things. And when you do that, you only need 52 videos to do one a week for a year. Like, I mean, you could sit down in a weekend and write down 52 questions you had. And if you don't have 52 questions, go to Answer the Public and type in your industry. It's going to give you 52 questions.
It's going to give you all 52.
So it's going to give it to you. Chat GPT, all these AI tools. Like, I mean, we complicate it. And that's one thing that for me this year is like the goal is to simplify my content, focus more about the things that I'm saying, as opposed to how it looks. You always want your content to look great, but
you want it to look, and you have your standard.
And it's just like sometimes we stray away from value, and we realize that we never ask our audience what do they like, right? We always try to do new things and incorporate new bells and whistles because we see the next top person doing these kind of things, as opposed to getting our community involved. And it's like, hey, why did you start watching my content? Oh, I love the fact that you're straight to the point and concise. Okay, cool, check mark. I know I can always do that, and my audience is gonna love it. So sometimes we focus on leveling up in the wrong areas because we forget to seek in the reason why we started. Everybody here is trying to add some kind of value to somebody's life in whatever it is that you're doing. And sometimes you get so caught up into the vanity numbers of like how many views I got, how many subscribers, and you forget that those numbers are real humans, right? So we don't allow the online digital space to disconnect you from personality and having that physical touch when you meet with somebody, right? Like if you're in a party, it's very hard for you to talk to 10 people at the same time and have 10 different conversations, right? Yeah. So when you create your content, you talk to that one person, right? Because that's the same way you would respond and act. Now, you may have a group conversations, but me and Kurt right now, one-on-one conversation. There's people viewing us, but me and Kurt having one-on-one. And sometimes we forget that every view is an actual human. And sometimes we get that one human to win. It's just not enough because of what social media has done. So I can go on and on, man. I know, I'm sorry. But it's a lot, Doc.
No. Let me say this. Let me interject this. And I know you're going to jump right back in once I share this. But last week we had Sylvia and Andrew Nixon on from Press and So. They're the people that make the merch for my channel. And we were talking about, the question on the question of the day was, what is the faith line in consecration and business? That was the topic. And everyone that came to the show, like, get this, Anthony, everybody in the comments thought we were talking about being a Christian.
Wow.
Everybody made the assumption
Wow.
that when we said, what is the faith line in content creation and business, they thought we were talking about being a Christian.
Wow. Wow.
And so then, there's that bit of confusion. And I know it's happening in the chat right now. There's this bit of confusion where it's like, well, if it's not about being a Christian, then what does faith have to do with being in business? Because everybody that starts a channel, everybody that starts a business must take a step of faith. I don't care if you're a believer.
100%.
You have to take a step. It is the unknown.
100%.
So when we talk about what is the faith line for content creation and business, it is, I believe in this idea enough to put action behind it. That's it. So we talk about people like Bezos.
Yeah.
He believed in this e-commerce concept and took action.
Right.
It's a step of faith, whether he's a believer or not. We're not talking about whether he's a Christian. I'm not talking about that. It is a step of belief in self or in the product or in the process. And so when Anthony's talking about, taking that first step, recognizing that you've got to start somewhere. It's not going to be what you dreamed it to be on day one, but we've got to enjoy the process. I resonate with that so much.
It's huge.
I resonate with
it's
that.
Huge.
There's another scene now. There's a show that I absolutely love. It's called The Chosen, and there's a scene from this current season that just finished where I'm not going to give it away. So the speaker is speaking, but this is in Bible times. So the speaker is speaking, and his followers are hearing what he's saying, and they're saying it again for those that are in their sphere. I just want to say that one more time. I want to paint this picture for you because this is exactly what Anthony just said a second ago. The speaker, is giving the audience value. He's answering their questions. So he's yelling it. The followers of the speaker are situated far enough away, but close enough to where they can hear the speaker clearly, and they can repeat the words of the speaker, repeat the value, repeat the answers for those that are in their sphere of influence. That's content creation. You learn something in the morning, you share it with somebody in the evening. Do you know why you do that? Because by sharing it or by teaching it to somebody, you make sure that it is baked in for you. The way that you solidify a concept is by teaching it to somebody else.
100%.
That's content
100%.
creation. Period, point blank, end of story. And so when we're talking about whether you're a gamer or a content creator, it doesn't matter.
Right?
Doesn't matter.
Exactly.
You are putting your unique stamp on that thing, and it is absolute gold. All right. Let me see what we got here. 7:43. This is our final question.
Good. Let's go.
Because I want to make sure that folks understand the value. How does creating content based on consuming content open up our options? Now, you touched on a lot of this already. Yeah. But I really, especially from the perspective of from a gamer or some of the other things that you do, I want you to share kind of how should we be thinking about that? So not just, well, I'm going to consume this content and I'm going to show people me consuming this content. No. What are some of the unique things that we can pull out of consuming content?
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing is being a student of the game, right? I think you have to think about a student, right? And when you're being a student of content, you're not just looking at like Kurt says, right? Reacting to the content, which is content in itself. But at the end of the day, you have to analyze, right? What is that creator doing, right? What kind of personality do they have? How are they engaging? What are the quirks, the kind of like the things that make them unique? And you look at the things that you like, right? I think this is how you set yourself apart, right? You take a pool of 5 to 10 creators that you enjoy watching, right? That are either in your space or in other spaces, and you take down those creators, right? And you make sure that they become your food for content, right? Because you start looking at it and saying like, these creators have the kind of community that I want to build. So with that, I need to see how they're engaging with that community and why does that community enjoy them? Again, this is diving into the content, following these creators on Instagram, on TikTok, and just looking at all the places that they're creating content for the audience that you want to serve. The more you consume that content, the easier it is for you to understand what that community likes to consume. Yes. And when you understand that, it makes it easy for you, one, to see gaps. I guarantee you that if you start doing this consistently, right? All right. So here's all right. This is like a secret gem right here. Okay, like
come on. We're ready for it. We're ready for it.
So check this out, right? The easiest way to be able to understand what content your audience is being served, simply create a separate email, create a separate YouTube account, right? Have the creators that you want to follow. Don't subscribe to them, right? Don't subscribe to them, and go ahead and search up a topic. Search a video that you think that you're making. YouTube is going to recommend the content that they feel that audience should be watching. First off, you're going to get content ideas from this because you're not logged in as you, right? You're not influencing. If I go to my personal YouTube, I watch all kinds of content. So my feed is all over the place, right? I'm watching cooking videos. I'm watching skateboarding videos. Why? Because I like to get influence from other content creators, right? Because I'm like, wow, they've done that in that space. That actually works. Like, a game show, Family Feud online. Oh, they do celebrities. I could probably do that with gamers, right? Have them do a Family Feud. And do a stream feud. So it's like you get influence and inspired from the people. But if you create other accounts on any social platform, right? I call them dummy accounts, right? And if you create a dummy account on any social media platform, it's going to start recommending you content as if you were your audience. So then you start seeing things that your audience wants. So one, you get the jump because you got to see what's relevant right now. YouTube may, like, for example, for me, I do a lot of tutorial videos, right? But because I made this dummy account, I realized that my audience wants to watch a lot of setup videos, right? How do you set up your room, your lights, your cameras, content that I'm not creating. So YouTube is they're watching my video and YouTube is recommending a setup video. I don't have it. So what are they doing? They're sending my audience to another creator, else. Right? Yep. So seeing that, it's like, okay, wow. So I need to make some equipment videos. I need to make videos on cameras and microphones. Why? Because my audience wants that. But I wouldn't have known that if I wouldn't be as a consumer in my audience in another platform. So it's just like,
that's good.
The biggest tip that I can kind of give you is when you're consuming content, right? Take notes, right? Take notes. And I think the biggest question is, because all content is driven by, especially on YouTube, thumbnails and titles, right? Look at the thumbnails and titles, write it down, right? Why did I click this video, right? Ask yourself this question, right? Was it the title? Was it the thumbnail? What made me click? Cool, write that down. All right. Now, when the video starts, whether it be on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube,
doesn't matter.
How did they open up the video? What was the hook?
Talk to me.
What got me interested to watch the video, right?
Yeah.
How did they keep me engaged throughout the video? How did they get me to watch a 23-minute video and I didn't even realize the time go by, right? And I think that when you realize that you don't make it work, don't make it work. Like, don't make it be like something that you're dreading to do. As you're consuming content, sitting down, I'm constantly scrolling through my YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Something stops me. I have folders on folders in my notes about different style of content. And I just open it up, write it down, and I just keep going. So I'm consuming content. I'm enjoying having entertainment. But at the same time, in the back of my head, I know that I can't retain everything that I'm seeing. So what doesn't get written down gets forgotten, right? So even if you don't utilize the idea, being able to come back and pull from it and say, you know what? What did I consume this week? Let me look at this list that I've made this week. What did I consume? What did I learn? What can I improve from? And from there comes content. I copy comments left and right. I screenshot everything that I can. Oh, nice thumbnail, screenshot. Oh, nice comment, screenshot. Questions. Oh, let me save that. So it's just like, there's so many people creating content. And this is the thing. You don't need to create new content over and over again, right? Nobody can watch all your content. Nobody. If you post a video today, I'm going to tell you right now, you can post that same video 2-3 weeks from now. Why? Because not everybody is just waiting there to see your content. So sometimes if you have 100 videos that you've created, understand that those 100 videos can become another 400 videos, right? Because you can look at moments in those videos that can become short videos to post on social media. Those can be long videos. And you're like, you know what? I did that video about 6 months ago. Things have maybe changed. I'm actually better at presenting. I'm actually better at communicating. I understand my tech better. So I can deliver the same content a lot better, right? So when you look at that and content's performing well for you, do it again. So it's just like, I mean, this is a whole space, Kurt, that we can go into. But I think the biggest thing is just be a student of content. Always be a student. Always be learning. Always be innovating and figuring out ways that you can kind of connect with your audience in a deeper level, man. That's about it.
Man, no,
Yep.
no, no. You
Look,
you
man.
you said a lot. You said a lot right there, man.
Yeah, I know.
An entire mouthful. And I'm not complaining. Trust me when I say I'm not complaining. I'm processing, and I'm hoping that you're processing out there as well. I'm hoping that you guys are tracking with us as well. There's something to be said for being a student of the game, being a consumer of content. I mean, I can't. I was in a coaching call. I don't want to name the person. They may or may not be on the live tonight, but I was in a coaching call and I said to the person, "Okay, cool. You want to be a YouTuber? So, how much YouTube do you consume? Like, name your 5 top, YouTube channels that you follow." And they were like, "Well, I don't really watch YouTube that much."
That's crazy.
That's
crazy.
that's
crazy.
And I get it. I get it. And I think Anthony said this so well. You break your time into time on socials doing work and time on socials where you're just consuming, but you want to limit both. Right? I get it. But there are I learned to cut hair in the pandemic by watching 360 Jeezy. Like that's my dude now, right? He has nothing to do with what I do, but I'm a fan now. Now he taught me how to do something, number one. But number two, his content is educational and entertaining. I mean, you just never know what Jeezy's going to throw up on there. Yeah. So there's so much stuff I love right there. Hey, we're going to get to your question in just a second, Ryan. We're going to get to that question as well. Thank you so much for that, because that reminds me, because it's in my notes right here. Plug your hustle, plug all your things. Yeah. But how can you be a musician and not listen to music? Come on, Chris Stone.
Exactly.
That's exactly the point. That's exactly the point. That's exactly the point. I love that, man. I love when the comments come through like that. Listen, I want to take just a few minutes, because we have a little bit of time. I want to just take a few minutes. I want you to just dive a little bit deeper. Just give us the Cliff Notes version of what's behind that statement you opened with. I got saved on the Xbox. I cannot unhear that.
Okay, I can share really quickly.
Please do.
So again, this all started from just a YouTube channel, right? So I was teaching gamers how to start live streaming, and this pastor that lives in South Carolina went ahead and reached out to me, and it's like, "Hey man, I'm trying to start streaming and I need some help. Would you mind helping me? Because it's like the tech is too complicated." It's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll help you out." So I went and got connected with him, helped him, and then he invited me. He's like, "Hey, we should play the game together sometime." And I was like, "Okay, sure, yeah, let's play the game." Cool. And then he would always take the conversations like from the worldly to the spiritually, right? And I was always be like, "All right, man, gotta go. See you tomorrow," and I'm gone, right? So after a few times of playing with him, he started inviting me. He's like, "Hey, I do a Bible study on Xbox every Friday at 9 p.m. You should join." I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." Right? Never joined, right? So then he just never pushy, just kept asking, right? Like, "Hey, you should join. Come on Friday at 9 p.m. I was like, "No, I'm busy." And then Shauna was like, "You should just join at one time, so he stops asking you, and then you go." I said, "That's a genius idea. Let me go ahead and join, and then maybe we'll never talk about this again." So, So I joined the party, and we're sitting there, and they're talking about things. I mean, I have no kind of, I come from a Catholic background. But as soon as I was old enough to not go to church, I stopped going, right? I was like maybe 9 or 8. And so then we're sitting there, and I'm just like on the game. I'm like, okay, this is like for an hour. So they can't tell that if I'm paying attention or not. But it got towards the end, right, where my focus and my shift completely, like I lost control of myself, right? And that's when they came and they made a calling, and they were just like, "Okay, look, this is an opportunity for you to be able to go ahead and declare, if all you have to do is believe that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, and if you do, then just say yes." In that moment, my attention shifted. Had goosebumps. I was shaking. I'm looking at Sean, and I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. And they're like, all you have to do is say yes. And I could feel myself wanting to yell and holding myself in. And finally, I was like, yes. And I started tearing My body was shaking. And, you know, in the party, they all just came together. They prayed. And then Pastor Danny was like, hey, I'm going to send you a book and a Bible tomorrow, overnight it. And I want to mentor you for the next 10 weeks, right? Because, you know, like when you first get into it, so I'm just like, this is insane. I don't know what's going on. And then, of course, right after, like maybe for the next 2-3 weeks, I kind of put Danny off, and I was just like, all right, this is like too much for me. But finally, you know, we got together. He started mentoring me. And then pretty much 9 months later, I went ahead and got baptized. And then during that time, Shauna was not in faith either. And he told me one key thing. He said, look, don't force or change her. You become the change, and it would influence her automatically, right?
My God.
And I just listened to that, and I kept doing that. And one day in the car, Shauna was like, hey, I want to join you for Bible study. I'm like, whoa. And she joined me. And then on Easter Sunday, she went ahead and got baptized and gave her life to Christ. So it was just a moment after the next. So it just really opened up my eyes to see that it's like when you're gonna get reached, you're gonna get reached, no matter where you're currently at. And that's what really comes to me, where it's like, you know, there's people that are not going to be able to reach the gamers, right? So it's like, it was a reason why I got saved in Xbox, in gaming. And that's why for me, the biggest thing is like being able to serve the gamers, but also able to share my story with them through that journey and connect. So that's like in like a shortened version of the whole story, but that's how it happened. And ever since then, you know, now I'm just like serving in the church, super committed to what we're doing. Me and Shauna both in together, like we got married because of everything. It was just a beautiful journey, but I never would have thought that it would have happened directly in the Xbox, in gaming, virtually, not even being in the same location. And, you know, Pastor Danny found me a church locally, got connected. And you know, now I use the skills and talents that I have to serve the church, right? I help them with live streaming and video production. And it's just comes full circle to realize that it's like a skill that I learned 3 years ago. Who knew that it was going to turn into this? If I didn't start that YouTube channel, I would have never met Pastor Danny. I would have never met Kurt. I would have never met nobody that's in my space, and I wouldn't be where I'm currently at today. So it's just like, it's crazy to see just how everything's come full circle, man.
This is the thing, what we don't know because when you started playing Xbox, you didn't know this was one of the byproducts, right?
I did not
That was
know.
never the point. And this is what happens when we take a step of faith, regardless if you're a believer or not. Okay, I'm waving the white flag. I'm neutral right now.
Yeah.
But regardless of whether you're a believer or not, you don't know what will happen when you take a step of faith. You just don't know. You don't know. You don't know the lives you're going to impact.
Yeah.
Me and Anthony and Sam got a chance to chat about some of the messages that we receive from subscribers, from followers, people whose lives we have touched, just because we created videos. I mean, you just don't know. You just don't know. And I love the way that Anthony put it. He talked about helping the version of yourself that needed the help.
Right.
And that's what it's about. And I love that.
That is it.
I think that this is the most powerful testimony I'm just blown away.
Whoa.
Right now.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
All right. I'm
crazy.
throwing it back over to you, man. Listen,
Yeah.
people in the chat are trying to figure out what your t-shirt says. So I'm going to show mine. Mine is Hump Day to Friday. This is a t-shirt for...
Mine says Explore More USA. It's just a basic tee.
Okay. All right.
Mine says
Because
Explore
somebody
More,
was asking in the chat. They're like, what does your shirt say?
Yeah. I just, this is the thing you learn in video, right? Orange and blue go well together. So that's
come on, talk about it, sir.
You know, that's it.
You learned that in video.
So
no, but people do want to follow you and several things. So just kind of take a second to talk about, your platforms, your channel, and where people can find you and follow you.
Yeah, sure. So online, I go by LASCurry, so LAS space Curry. So on all social platforms, TikTok, Instagram, my website, and on YouTube. So that's where you can actually find me. And again, a lot of the things that I do, like for businesses and brands, is more behind the scenes, more my front facing. It's most focusing on gamers and live streaming and just inspiring and motivating them that way. And then everything else, like I said, is more behind the scenes, working with brands, helping them create content, commercials, ads, things of that sort. Like I said, leveraging as many skills as we've acquired through this process, where like I tell Shauna every time, it's like, this started to be a house that my office was in, and it's now becoming like a business where we're sleeping in a room in the office. Like I'm taking up the rooms. I'm taking up the rooms as we go. And she's starting to say, the living room is mine. I'm like, oh man, that's the biggest space in the house. I want to use it, So
it's the biggest room.
But yeah, it's just crazy, and it's always been like just processes. So yes, that's where you can find me. For me, I've always, like I said, never kind of looking at it as like just grateful for just this opportunity, right? Where we live, where we at right now. And it's just amazing to see the amount of people that you meet being in this space, because that's the key, right? People in the chat right now that I've come to know that it's just like, man, like they've had experiences that I've never experienced. And when you bring those knowledges together, like it takes you to a whole nother level. So I think like for so long when I first started this journey, I was afraid to reach out and talk to people and to communicate and connect because I didn't want to be a burden. But you realize that these people want to help you because they know where you are currently at. They've been there. It's like, hey, I know the struggle, man. Like, look, let me save you 15 hours by doing this. And I think that it's also a feel-good emotion that you get when you know you can serve someone and help them. So when you reach out, maybe they don't respond back right away, but feel free to collaborate and get connected with people, because I think that's where the true growth happens. As a human, as a person, as a creator, it's just being around a circle of influence that is also on the same path with you, even if it's in different verticals. So, but yeah, man, that's it. That's it for me.
His website is on the screen, and my moderators have put it in the comments. I want to make sure you guys get that. If you're on a different platform, let us know. It's LASCurry.com. And we'll make sure that we put that in the description on all our platforms, man. I think this has just been an absolutely amazing show tonight.
It's always a pleasure, man.
I always listen. Anytime I get a chance to chop it up with Anthony, it's so dope, man. Listen, next time I come home, man, because I told you before, I'm from St. Petersburg, but next time I come home, we got to figure out a way to grab a coffee or something, man.
Oh, for sure, man. I'll go anywhere where you're at. Let's go.
Yeah. No, we're going to do that. We're going to do that for sure, man. But man, Anthony, I just, again, we'll just say a word of thanks to you for coming through and sharing, man. It's been amazing tonight. Not only to receive the value, but man, also just to kind of hear that origin story. I guess this is one of the reasons why my audience keeps on saying to me, Kirk, keep asking your guests this question. These two questions, they're non-negotiable. Tell us what a day in the life looks like, and then tell us your origin story. And those two questions it's
key.
Oh my God, they're just
it's key.
They're just so critical. So thank you so much for sharing, man. We truly appreciate that. I just love I love what God is doing. Shauna, I live in Huntsville, Alabama, so a little bit away from you, but St. Petersburg is home.
30 minutes away.
I grew up, quite literally. I grew up across the bridge, right? So I grew up in St. Petersburg, went to St. Petersburg High School. I'm a Green Devil, right? Unfortunately, it's the name of it's the mascot for the school, y'all. It's the mascot for the school. But it is what it is. But no, Tampa is home as well. So, Bucks, baby. It's in my blood,
Let's go.
But yeah. Hey,
I love it.
I see y'all. Great show. Victor says, Chris Stone says the same.
Pleasure.
Gary Jones is making sure people have all of your socials. I love that. But listen,
appreciate it, Gary.
Again, I just want to say, don't go nowhere, but I want to say a word of thanks to you on behalf of the entire audience for coming through and hanging out with us tonight and making sure that we receive that value, Doc.
It's a pleasure. It'd be too short, we need to do longer shows.
No, trust me, you're gonna get an invite for my other show really soon.
Okay, cool.
Very soon. That's why I want you to hold tight.
I'm excited. Okay, yeah.
Man, listen, fam, I just want to say this as we get ready to close. Being a consumer of content, approaching it from the perspective of I have seen it through the eyes of those who I want to reach, gives you the cheat code. It gives you all the steps. It gives you the process through which you can more effectively deliver that value to your audience. Are you a gamer or a content creator or both? It's both, but why is it both? Because the gamer is consuming content while creating content, and that is the cheat code. I think that any of us, not just gamers, can learn. I saw somebody saying in the chat as well, can learn from this practice. I often say, and I'll share this and we're done, Amazon's biggest department is not R&D. It's not web design. It's not even logistics. Amazon's biggest department is user experience. Why? Because they want to understand what the consumer's experience is and curate that process. From the time you have the idea in your head to the time that box shows up at your door with the little smile on it, they've curated every step in the process. And we know that success leaves clues. And if we follow that success model, we've got to consume content in order for us to be able to create content that others want to consume. It's your boy, Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher. Excited about this time that we've been able to share today. It has just been absolutely phenomenal. Excited about our last guest for the month, Bryant Taylor, who's going to be with us next week. And our topic for next week is another doozy. You can never tell just by the topic what we're going to touch on. So stay tuned. I would love to see you guys back here next Monday night or wherever we see one another in these internet streets. I'll catch you guys in the next one, fam. Grace and peace. All right. Replay squad, you know what it is. You got to find one of these videos over here. Yes, this way, right here. Click one of these videos right here, and we'll see you one of those. Share, like, subscribe. We'll see you in the